So the general workout recovery cycle. And after you work out or while you're working out, like you're not building yourself stronger. Like this is something a lot of beginners, you got to realize when you go to the gym, you're not building yourself stronger. You're actually breaking your body down. You're getting weaker. So throughout that workout, the muscles are breaking down. They're actually getting weaker. And you can feel it because by the end of the workout, you're fatigued, you're tired, you don't have the same energy. Like you just drained and emptied the tank, right? So you're down into the fatigue zone at the end of that workout. And then, you know, after you allow rest and recovery, you're going to start to come up, you know, the recovery process. And then eventually, once you're fully recovered, there's some super compensation right up here at the top. A little bit of audio issue or something there.
Oh, sorry, hold up. My Roomba started moving for some reason. My Roomba, my vacuum cleaner.
But when after we hit the training stimulus, we fatigue, and then we're on the recovery process, then we're going to get up in here to the super compensation phase. This is the actual growth. So the growth takes place long after the actual workout, right? You break your body down, it has to rest, recover, and then grow. And the growth is here in that super compensation. Ideally, that's the sweet spot when you want to do your next workout, is when you're in that super compensated phase, so that you can start the whole training stimulus, go into the fatigue, recover, and then you build it up higher. So each time you go through it, if you're doing it properly, you're actually going to build the body higher each time. Build it up to another level, dip down when the fatigue of the training session, you recover, super compensate, and over time, it's going to get stronger. Right? You're going to see the dips and the valleys here, but it's over time, you know, the strength peaks are going to get higher, and the dips, even though you will feel fatigued after a workout, the highs will get higher and the lows will also get higher, right, over time, right? That's what we want to achieve. That's the ideal goal. A common mistake for a lot of people is working out too frequently. And so this is what would happen if you trained too frequently, is you would actually start to break the body down faster than it can recover. And this is what's known as overtraining. So to kind of put that in perspective, go back to the big chart here. If you did your workout while you were still in the recovery phase, before you fully recovered, before you actually hit that super compensation, then you're actually digging yourself into a rut, right? So if you did your next workout in that recovery phase right here, then you're breaking your body down even further, and it's actually going to start to snowball downhill, right? That's where you're going to get weaker and weaker and weaker over time. And the problem with this is you're putting in all this work, right? You're training hard. I'm working out every day. I'm going to the gym every day, but you're not allowing that rest and recovery and growth to happen. And I was guilty of this. Like back in my teenage days when I started training, you know, I was so full of piss and vinegar. I was working out every day, you know, a couple hours a day. And I was like, I'm not seeing any progress. Like, what the hell's on the go? And finally, I actually started to read some programs and talk to some more advanced lifters and stuff. And they said, you know, how about you cut back to every other day? Work out one day, takes the next day off. I said, oh, okay, I'll try that. Instantly, I started to grow because I allowed that time for the rest, recovery, and growth in between each workout. So it's training smarter, not harder, literally. Another one that a lot of people end up getting into is if they wait too long between workouts, then stimulation, your body breaks down, you recover, you get the super compensation. But then if you wait too long, then you're back to baseline again. You're not really making progress. This would be known as a maintenance program. So you're always just maintaining what you have, but you're not actually making progress over time. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, because there are times when maybe you do want to maintain, you know, if you're really busy and you say, you know what, rather than just stop working out altogether, I'll just do a maintenance program, hold on to my gains. And then when I'm able to push it harder, I will, to try and make gains. So we all go through phases like that from time to time, but we want to avoid the overtraining syndrome for sure. Over time, if you were overtraining, like you would get weaker over time, versus if you did it in a productive fashion, over time, you would get stronger over time. And this is where it really shows, is over time, especially for beginners and novices. They think, I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to go to the gym every day, as if that's a badge of honor, right? Exercise, go to the gym every day. Not necessarily, right?
Yeah.
even top level athletes are not pushing themselves hard every day. They may be some sort of training, but it's not necessarily always training at high intensity. They could be doing active recovery workouts, or they could be doing mobility, working on skills. So they're still training, but not always pushing the limits.
And it's tough because like the more you get into fitness and exercise, I mean, at least in my case here, I fell in love with it. And when you fall in love with something, it's like you wake up every day and you look forward to doing it. Or you wake up and you're like, I want to go to the gym. You're like, but I'm so sore. I can't lift my arms above my shoulders, and my hamstrings are on fire and everything. It's like, I really should take a day off. And then you're kind of like, well, what do I do with myself if I don't go to the gym? I remember, so when I first started working with you, you had me on a total body workout split that I was doing, and I was getting 3 strength training sessions a week. And I was doing it, and then I remember I asked you, I was like, I have an idea for my own workout split. Is it okay if I send it to you? And you were like, yeah, of course. So I wrote up my own exercise split, and it was so crazy. It was like, Monday we're doing this, and it was like 6 different exercises. Tuesdays we're doing this, 6 different exercises. Wednesdays 6 different exercises, and it's because I wanted to improve everything all at once.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a master of everything. And I remember I sent it to you, and you said to me in a very kind way, you're like, this is pretty overkill here. Like, I would scale this back like considerably. And going through that, I mean, I always felt run down. I always felt tired. I never felt recovered. And as a result of that, I never made any strength progress. And I made my most strength progress when I went from lifting every single day to lifting either 3 times a week, or even for a while when I first moved out here, because I was getting my whole life situated, I was only really lifting 2 times a week. And I wouldn't go any lower than 2, but like when I was doing 2, I noticed that I was getting stronger like every single session that I was going in. I got over that need, that fixation to have to do everything and focus on mastering everything, and instead kind of narrowing my focus in on my sessions of, okay, I want to improve my pull-ups, just my pull-ups, or I want to get better at push-ups, like just push-ups, or squats or something like that. So yeah, there's a lot to be said for scaling things back, letting your body recover. That's really where you're going to make the most progress.